Hey guys, I was watching JJ's Zoom from just a couple days ago, and even then he seemed somewhat hopeful that maybe something would change at the last minute, and your parents at least might be able to come here and be in the stadium for the game. Have you, as he put it, been able to have any pull with the Steelers since then? And if so, are they willing to kind of drop everything last minute if you guys can pull it off?
I know that obviously they'd be super excited to be able to come, and it doesn't matter how late notice, as long as they could get here on time, they would drop everything to come. But I know some of our coaches have been talking about just how special an experience it would be, and that there's got to be some sort of exception they can make, and they can get tested all week. They would have gladly gotten tested all week, but at the end of the day, it's all about our safety, the whole team, the keeping the whole season on track and not putting that in jeopardy. So they completely understand. Obviously it's unfortunate that, they won't be able to be here, but, they're going to be watching at home and get to, kind of rewatch, rewind everything they possibly can, any interaction they can get. So they'll just be grateful that we get to experience it and get plenty of pictures, I'm sure.
All right, let's move on to Joe Rudder. Joe, go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, Derek, more of an individual thing. What excites you more, the getting the safety or making a big block for James Conner to close out the game?
Shoot, man, they're both exciting. Anytime you get to be on the field for a big play, it's special. And with the running backs that we have in our room, and there's always big play capability. So just, you never know which play it's going to be. And obviously to close out a game like that and the way we did was special. And the safety ended up being a huge play in the game. But it wasn't anything that, extra spectacular that I did. It was kind of the whole, everybody kind of did their job, and it worked out great for us.
All righty, we have a question for Justin James in Houston. Justin, do we have you?
Yeah, hello, Justin. Better Brother Gazette here. I just had a question. This offseason, in the beginning of the year, when we were going through quarantine, it looked like you guys were training at a really nice facility with a nice gym, a good field. I was just wondering what the membership fees were at such a nice facility while none of the gyms were open.
Well, I can take this one, Derek, because I was a high up member of that community, and we cut the grass. That was about it.
Wow. How many
But
times?
I mean, this guy, the thing about the club owner was that he really enjoyed cutting the grass himself. He really enjoyed lining the football field for his members. The grass was always pristine. The gym was always clean. We try to do our best to clean up after ourselves. And we're just very grateful that he let us use his facilities.
It was kind of a just don't make a mess, clean up after yourselves, and you get all the perks you want. And the fridge was always stocked. The weights were picked up, and it was great.
Sounds like a great facility. Follow-up question, last question, and I'll be on my way. Do you guys always do your press conferences together? Thanks. I'll hang up and listen.
It's the first.
Side by side, always, Jage.
Thanks, guys. See you later. Have a good day.
Yeah, go to a meeting.
Alrighty, we'll move on to Brooke Pryor. Brooke, go ahead.
Well, I don't know how to follow up those very hard-hitting questions there. A couple things. Is the group chat between the brothers this week any different? I mean, are you guys still communicating as usual? And then also, what do you guys remember about playing rummy with your grandmother and great-grandmother? Was your great-grandmother as competitive as you guys, or maybe even more competitive?
I think the group chat, I mean, it's kind of gotten blown out of crazy proportions of what we talk about. I think we're just hanging out and nothing's really changed throughout the week. We just kind of talk about what's going on in everybody's daily life, just trying to stay connected. And Derek's always sending pictures of Logan, and JJ's always talking about how hot it is down in Houston. I always got nothing to talk about. So I think I think we're just kind of laid back, not really talking much football, and just kind of catching up throughout the week.
Yeah. And then in terms of the rummy with our, grandma and great grandma, it was always heated. That was our thing. You go over to grandma, great grandma's house and rummy, you were going to play rummy. We looked forward to it. They looked forward to it. Our grandma had this little mixed, soda with a cranberry juice drink she would always make for us since we were kids, and it was always in these little sippy cups. So we'd play even as we were grown ups, we would drink those little sippy cups and play rummy with grandma and great grandma. And I think great grandma wanted to win so bad. She was always getting the most upset if somebody else beat her, and that was usually me. So they would take the most recent rummy score and hang it on the wall until the next game was played. So it was cool. It was special for us to play with them.
All right, we'll move on to Will Grades. Will, go ahead.
Hey guys, like everybody, every kid that guides kids in the NFL, when they were kids, they dreamt about playing in the league. I'm just curious, take me back to the Watt family backyard when you guys were kids. I mean, who did you guys pretend to be? Who was the star? And did you ever really think that a day like this was ever going to be possible in actual real life?
I think our parents did an excellent job on just making sure we were always outside of the house. We had a cul-de-sac out front, so we'd play rollerblade hockey. We had a decent-sized backyard, and so did our neighbors. So we would connect the 3 backyards with neighbors on each side of us, and we would play football. We'd play baseball in the backyard. Just whatever we were doing, we were trying to get as many people and as many kids in the community to come over to our house and play as many sports as we possibly could. And that always went into the evenings. We'd come inside after playing outside all day, and we'd be playing mini sticks or mini baseball in the house. And I just think always having that competitive edge. And for me, it was super important in my development to play with JJ and Derek, to get beat up on a lot when I was younger, but to just kind of be resilient and continue to grow and learn from my experiences playing up with those guys.
All right, we will go to Mark Berman. Mark, go ahead.
Hey guys, I've got a question I would like to ask a follow if possible. I know your focus is winning the game, obviously. Would it be cool to see your brother get 2 sacks, become the 4th player in history, have 100 sacks in 115 games?
That means we're not doing real great on offense. Is this the last game he has the chance to do that in 150
games? 150 games. I think Jay's got enough hardware. I think he's got 3 defense players. He's not very shy of telling people that he has those awards, especially me. So I think he doesn't need this one.
Yeah, that he can let that one go.
Derek, he recalled yesterday during his news conference, or Wednesday during his news conference, that when y'all played in San Diego, let's see if I can look at the notes here. Yeah, he tossed a chip in my ribs. That's what he does. He's a pesky little fullback. He sticks his elbow in your ribs as you're passing by. What do you remember about that play, and do you think he owes you one?
Yeah, I remember. Obviously we're aware of where he's at on the field. Pretty much every play, because he has that game-changing ability. So I knew he was on my side, and as I was getting out to release on my route, saw an open and exposed rib and gave it a little shot. And I think he tried to play it off with a spin move. I think I got him pretty good. And he tried to play it with a spin move with it, but I'm sure, if he finds an opportunity this game, he'll definitely try to get me back for it. But I don't see him going out of his way, but that's for sure.
All right, we'll move on to Aditi Kinkobala. Go ahead, Aditi.
Good morning, guys. TJ, we asked Mike Tomlin to give us a cute story about you and Derek interacting on the field, and he said that you don't talk to anybody but Bud. Is that true? And Derek, JJ said that you are actually the best all-around athlete of all 3 brothers. True, or is he just throwing you a bone?
I think when it comes to practice and the preparation side of things, I am very, very focused in trying to pick up and visualize as much as I possibly can. And I love football. I love being here. I love practice. I love just the preparation process that goes into everything that unfolds on Sundays. And I definitely talk to a lot of guys throughout practice here and there, but for the most part, I'm usually trying to visualize and be by myself, watch the plays as they're happening on the iPads off to the side. And because you only get this week once, and I don't want to mess it up. So that's why I'm so focused.
Do you want to also answer my follow-up about?
Derek is the best high school football player I've ever seen, hands down. I mean, we did play in Wisconsin, so a lot of people hate on Wisconsin football competition, but Derek is hands down the best high school football player I've seen. It's just a shame we don't have more highlight video. We didn't really take a ton of video and back in 2011.
Grainy footage. Yeah, it's
all black and white and stuff.
Can't find the highlights anymore. They disappeared off the internet.
Let's go to Mike Prizzuta. Mike, go ahead.
Guys, there's got to be something at stake besides the result, right? TJ, are you going to compare stat lines with JJ, Derek, or is there something at stake in case you guys line up one-on-one, or there's a coverage situation or blocking situation? What's on the table besides somebody winning a game?
I think you'll get just the chippy conversation throughout the weeks to follow. But I think more than anything, as we've kind of grown in the NFL and we've had these opportunities to play each other and it hasn't really worked out, we're just so fortunate that everybody's healthy. And knock on wood, we leave the game healthy. And I think that's first and foremost the most important thing. We all are so confident in our capabilities individually and collectively as brothers. And I think more than anything, we just want to leave healthy. But yeah, whoever wins the game or gets the most of Derek and JJ's battle, because I won't be able to see JJ out. I'm sure there'll be some pictures if Derek gets him a rib shot and some talking smack back and forth.
Let's go to Chris Adamski. Chris, go ahead.
Hey, both of you guys' perspectives a little different than JJ's was because you guys were still in high school and in college whenever he was a legitimate, NFL star, winning Defensive Player of the Year. I think, you guys still would have been at least in college. What was that? Did that motivate you at all? Was that at all at some point hard on you because you had a quote unquote famous older brother and you guys were still, developing yourselves, or what was kind of your feelings throughout that time period?
I definitely wouldn't say it was difficult on us at all. I mean, he's kind of been that role model for us, since we were young, and always set that standard, that bar really high. And it was special. I mean, we were there when he got drafted. We were, we got to be in the building at some of those award ceremonies and just kind of being there for him and seeing all of the behind the scenes things that people don't notice, that all the work he puts in, all the, all the different sacrifices you have to make. We're proud of him. And it was, it truly was special, that stretch of 3, Defensive Player of the Year awards, and just continually, I mean, like I said, you have to game plan around him, and to just today, being just, he's still that elite player. And yeah, it definitely motivated us for sure. Obviously TJ, on the defensive side of the ball more specifically, can compare things, but just being proud of him and truly special to watch.
Yeah, I think the coolest thing about JJ is his openness to us and truly being an open book in any aspect of life. And that's what makes him such a great older brother, and Derek as well, is when I would sometimes feel pressure or anything of having to fulfill, I would just talk to Derek about it. And that's why I love the relationships that we have. And I think JJ has just done such a great job of not forgetting where he's came from and wanting to help us as much as he possibly can to not only be the best football players we can be, to be the best young men that we can be.
All right, we got some time for a few more. We'll go to Jim Colony. Jim, go ahead.
All right, kind of getting back to this growing up in the backyard, and especially your interior games, how much stuff did you guys break? And what's the most expensive thing that you guys broke that maybe got you in trouble?
Specifically, I don't necessarily know of something that
I broke your face one time.
And that's expensive. But no, I would say, I mean, those little things. I mean, you're shooting we call it shinny, the mini hockey sticks. Yes, the puck goes flying and hits a lamp. Or
we had at one point we had wrestling mats in our basement because we were big time into wrestling when we were younger. We had a full-on hockey net,
legitimate hockey net with pucks and big sticks.
We'd shoot actual pucks in the basement,
leaving marks on the wall and everything, all sorts of stuff. So it was just ricochet effect, somebody tackling somebody into pushing somebody into the TV, those kind of things. But nothing specific jumps out, I guess.
All right, we'll go to Noah Strackbean of Sports Illustrated. Noah, go ahead.
Hey guys, so going back to high school, I guess when you guys were watching JJ and then Derek, or TJ, when you were watching Derek and Derek watching TJ, did you guys know, or did you think, was there ever a time when you said, all three of us can make it to the league? This is a real possibility.
I don't know. I think we're just so set on the next step. Like there hasn't really been like I want to be in the NFL. It's all, like Jay always explains it perfectly. It's like when we were in youth football, we just wanted to be on the varsity football team. And once you get to college, you just want to have an opportunity to be on the roster and have a chance to suit up. And then once that comes, you want to play. And once you play, you want to become a starter. And we're just so focused on the next step and not getting enamored by the ultimate goal. And I think that's kind of helped us in our success. And like I said, JJ and Derek have given the blueprint as to how to do that.
100%.
All right, we'll wrap it up. We'll go back to you, Aditi.
All right, I'm going to do the two thing again. TJ, purely football question. Deshaun Watson, how is he different than some of the other mobile quarterbacks you see, like, for instance, Lamar Jackson? And then, Derek, for you, TJ claims he's the favorite uncle. True? Is he really the best babysitter?
I think Deshaun does a great job of his physicality in and outside of the pocket. He's a tough guy to get down. He has a really good stiff arm, as shown last week on tape a couple times, and he's just a magician in the pocket. I saw it last year down in Houston when they played Buffalo in the playoffs, and he just keeps plays alive. And I'm really looking forward to going up against a competitor like that.
In terms of the favorite uncle, I wouldn't necessarily – I mean, TJ's definitely got the upper hand in terms of being around him, getting that exposure more. Logan is at that young age where repetition is going to be huge, and seeing TJ around more often is going to help. But in terms of being the best babysitter, I would by no means give it to TJ necessarily. He's really only had it like one time where he's truly had to babysit.
It's the first I'm hearing of this.
Logan was asleep for most of it, and then he woke up and
Derek doesn't trust me to babysit full time, so I get.
Would you change a diaper if it came down to it?
I get to go. Heck no. I get to go over there. So let me explain this real quick. Sidebar. So I go over there to babysit Derek or to babysit Logan, and Derek goes, well, he's sleeping till 2:15. So I'm like, okay, you get home at 2:30, so I get to see him for 15 minutes. You don't trust me? I'm your own blood, man. And he didn't cry at all. He didn't cry at all. I was afraid that when I picked him out of his crib, he'd cry. He didn't cry. I brought him a rock. He loves rocks. And I mean, I don't know what better job I could have done. I'm not changing diapers though. That's where I draw the line.
That's a crucial part of being a babysitter. So we'll see. Maybe JJ will change a diaper down the line, and it'll make things, shift in the other direction.